Today we've come down to try and catch probably what I think will be the toughest fish on our list, and that's a really big chub. Why? Well, big chub are never easy to catch, and you know that, Mick, but we've come here to the Dorset Stour, which is probably the most famous chub river in the country these days. Great bit of water, miles and miles of it, and some honking great chub, and I mean really, really big fish. However, this place is intensely fished, so believe me, I know these chub are going to be very difficult to catch.
They will be, but, you know, what I'm going to do is take advantage of the fact that the chub is an omnivorous species, and that means it will eat anything. And I don't think many people will have brought down the baits that I'm going to be using today. I mean, let me show you the first one. Now, I'm not going to put that on in one piece, but I've brought a kipper down. Now, chub will quite readily take a piece of kipper. I've actually got a herring. Again, I'm just going to cut little slithers off it. I've caught chub on that before. I've got some king prawn, cut that into little chunks.
I actually think you've got a very good chance with these baits.
Yeah, well,
I do, because the fish here have seen everything.
I do.
Well, I'm fishing a very different swim to you. I'm going to fish pellets, so I'm going to do a few things differently, because I'm going to try boilies as well. Yeah. I'm going to try PVA bags. We'll see which approach works, if any, because believe me, Mick, if we catch a big chub here, we'll have done well.
Well, we've got a nice day for it. It's nicely overcast.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I think we should get on with it, don't you?
Yeah, all right, mate. Good luck, old chap.
Yeah, good luck, Matt. I'm going to start off with the tail of a king prawn and just see what the reaction is to that. I'll probably only give it 5 minutes, and then I'll work my way through all the other baits and just see which one they prefer.
So, chub, well, the record currently stands at £8 10 ounces, caught very, very recently, actually. And I'm here at the Natural History Museum in London with Nigel Hewlett from the Environment Agency and the British Record Fish Committee. Nigel, chub, there's never been a finer time to catch a really big chub. What's going on?
I think one of the main factors to do with increasing size of chub, Matt, is water quality. The massive improvements in the quality of our rivers over the last few years, and that's definitely contributing to the size of chub we're seeing.
What about global warming? We're getting milder winters. Is that a factor?
It's always difficult to look at climate change and see how it would actually affect any fish species. So it's always a possibility, but science is very limited on that particular area.
One thing I've got to throw at you is bait. I mean, modern baits. Most of these big chub are being caught from barbel stretches where people are putting in pellets, high-protein boilies. Is that a factor as well?
Definitely could be. You've certainly got a lot of stretches of river that are very popular, very heavily fished, and the populations of fish within them are fairly limited. And one thing to remember with these bigger chub we're seeing is they're not actually getting any longer, they're getting fatter, and that may well be to do with the food content of modern baits.
Well, that's interesting. You know, when it came to chasing a record chub, Mick and I talked about this. There's only one place to go as far as I'm concerned. Probably the most famous chub fishery in Britain, the Dorset Stour, and at Throop. Well, while Mick's messing about with his sea baits, I've put some bait into another swim. There's no fishing at the moment, but basically I've laid a trap. And I think the best thing I can do to use the time productively is to try and stalk a chub out and get one under our belt early. Now, these fish aren't going to be easy to catch, but there is a group of chub right at the back of that mid-river rush bed over there. They're literally in about 10 inches of water, so they're going to be really spooky, but it's quite windy at the moment, and although that's a pain for casting, it will give us some cover from the chub. So we're going to sneak into a little gap over there and try and cast across to the rushes, and I reckon if we get one, it'll be within the first 2 minutes. Let's give it a go. A little bit slippery there, but I've made it, and this is the spot. Well, the fish have been moving from the deeper water up onto the shallow plateau behind those rushes there. They're quite difficult to spot, actually, because it is windy, and that wind's going to make it awkward to cast. I think, to be honest, I've only got one shot at this, so I'm going to put an extra bit of weight onto the link, and I'm going to try a natural bait. I haven't fed this swim at all. I'm really looking for an opportunist pickup. And then in here, I've got the greatest angling bait of them all. Now, Mick might have some success with his sea baits, and I'm sure he will, but when it comes down to it, a good old earthworm still got to be the king of the baits. Well, that's in there. Just hope a chub finds it now.
I've had a lot of frustration in this swim. The wind's driving me absolutely potty. I just can't seem to keep the rod and the line still, and I'm probably having bites that I'm missing. I have actually seen quite a few bites. I think I've had 6 or 7, and I actually hooked a fish on one of the bites. I just put on a little teeny chunk of herring. It had only just gone out, just coming round in the current, a little bump on the rod tip. The fish was on for about 2 seconds, and then it bit through the braided hook link. Obviously it could have been a pike, but it was such a teeny little bit of herring. I think it was a chub, and chub can bite through your line. They've got teeth right at the back of the throat that you can't actually see. So where are we now? Well, the only bait I haven't tried is the kipper, and I've been saving that for last, and the light's fading now, so I've got to try and pull something out of the bag pretty quick. There it is, a nice chunk of kipper. Really smells. They'll certainly know it's there anyway.
Just had a knock then. Sharp rap on the line as if a chub just tweaked it. Maybe just checking the bait out. Well, this swim is extremely weedy, and the wind is making this job so difficult.
I've got one. Oh, I'm hit. Oh, no. You will not believe what has taken my bit of kipper. It's the littlest eel you're likely to see. Oh, and I just don't want to do this. But it just won't keep still.
These are the boilies. I tend to fish them and feed them as half baits. This is a little PVA bag, and I'm going to drop it back out on that gravel run. Well, I'm going to wade across the river now and just drop a bait in that little shallow plateau. This won't spook the fish, just creep over. Well, I'm into a fish at last. My tactics have worked, but I'm not sure that this is a chub. I've got to really crank the fish in quickly. There's no room for finesse in this situation, I'm afraid. Oh, it is a chub. Oh, well, that's a result. Woohoo! I've got one. How about that? Not a big one, but it's a chub. And it's a Dorset Stour chub. And it's nice when your tactics work. This is quite a young fish, probably. It's actually a very small chub for the Dorset Stour. It'd be a nice one anywhere else. It's a nice fish, about 3 pounds probably. It's in nice condition. And considering it's only been a short session today, and it has really, because we arrived this afternoon, I'm quite pleased about that. Now, the chub record currently is 8 pounds 10 ounces as I speak, which is a huge fish, a lot bigger than this one, but believe me, there are probably fish of that size down here at Throop. And I'm going to put this one back into the Stour because it's pretty lively, and hope that one day I'll come back and catch it when it's an 8 pounder. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Well, it's almost dark now, so it's pretty much time to pack up. So I think what we'll probably do tomorrow is go and have a look at another stretch, see if we can find some bigger fish. And if we do, well, obviously we'll fish for them. But it means that on our third day, we've got a choice between coming back here to Throop and maybe trying somewhere else. We'll see what happens. I'm getting some amazing line bites. It's just happened again. Well, what a piece of drama. It's typical, isn't it? Just as Johnny, our cameraman, was starting to pack his gear away, I had an enormous bite. Fish just shot down the middle of the river. I've had to wade in to get it. It got stuck in the weed. I couldn't see what I was doing in the gloom. And I suddenly became aware that what I was playing was not a chub or a bream. And, well, this is one of the fish that Throop is famous for. This is a really nice barbel. It's a beauty. Whew, what an end to the day. Absolutely fantastic. And I'll tell you what, I didn't catch this one on a bit of old kipper, but it is a right old kipper itself, isn't it? Fantastic fish. I think I'll weigh this before I put it back. Let's have a look. That's exactly £11, which is a personal best for me from the Stour, so I'm really pleased about that. That's brilliant. My previous biggest barbel was £10 14 ounces. So how about that? That's a right result. Fabulous. Now this morning we've moved stretches and we're on a bit controlled by the Christchurch Angling Club. It's another bit of the Dorset Stour, and I can tell you, Mick, there's some very big fish down here.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to trying my fishy baits down here.
Yeah, I think they'll work. I think you're onto something there, Supermarket Sweep. I really do.
Yeah, well, I was a bit disappointed yesterday because I did get an eel on the kipper.
Yeah.
And I had a fish bite me off on the herring, and I'm sure it was a chub. I felt it for a few seconds.
Did you feel it thumping around?
Oh, it just felt like a good chub.
Well, this is the weir pool. I think we need to be down here, mate. Just come and have a look in here, Mick. This is a great area to spot chub. Look, there's one. It's lovely to see him in the water like this, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a great spot, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Well, I'm in a new swim on a new stretch of the river, and it's beautiful down here. And today I'm going to carry on with my meat and fish bait approach. What I'm really trying to do is find a bait that nobody else is using that's going to give me a little bit of an edge. It may not work, but unless you put in the time and the effort, you're never going to know. So I've got a lovely pool here to fish. I'm told it does hold some very big chub, and I'm just going to show them my array of baits that I put through the other swim yesterday and just see what happens, really.
Well, this is a nice little chub spot. I've had a look in underneath a tree just below me, and I've seen a couple of chub circling round. It's the sort of spot where quite often you'll get a chub first cast. Now, I don't know whether that's going to happen now or not, but it's worth a go. It's a sort of opportunist swim, really. There's a little tap there, then. Don't know whether that was a chub or maybe even a perch or a small dace. That was a really delicate bite. I've got to keep the chub away from the tree, keep it out of the roots, because it'll try and get in there right in the cover. It's a really strong current here as well, so it's not a particularly big chub, but it's a good start. Bring this one into hand, covered in weed, and there it is. One cast, one fish. Lovely chubbly, whatever. Let's slip this one back. Oh, that water's cold today. It's a good start.
Well, so far I haven't had a bite, and I don't think it's because the fish and meat baits aren't working. It's just that I feel that I haven't put the bait in front of any fish, and I can see the bottom for most of the river, and fairly sure there's no fish where I've been casting. I think they're tucked away in some of these more obscure places under the bushes and the shaded areas. So I put my chest waders on. All I've got is my rod and my net, little tub of bait, and I'm going to have to go in after them.
See behind me that I've made a big gap through these reeds. This was all overgrown before I got here, and the reason I've made the swim is that just creeping along the bank there, I could see some chub underneath the branches of this tree.
Well, I don't know whether this is going to work or not, but if it doesn't, it won't be through lack of effort, I can tell you.
I've made the channel through so I can literally wade out and just drop my bait under the tree. I'm going to use a PVA bag again with a fairly heavy lead, put the bait into position, and then just walk back, sit back and wait.
I haven't actually seen any fish yet, but I'm sure they're tucked away under these bushes.
It's amazing actually how close you can get to the fish without frightening them. We're starting to lose the light now. It's a low, clear river, the water temperature's dropping. Very, very difficult fishing here at the moment, and I think tomorrow maybe we should head off to Throop, because there's certainly more fish there and that makes them more competitive, so we might have a better chance of catching a big fish. We'll see. What I've got to do now is just sit it out here until it's dark and just hope that the fish start to feed and that I've got a bait there waiting for them. Well, here we are, we're back at Throop and made an early start. I'm actually fishing the swim that Mick was fishing the other day, but fishing it a completely different way. I'm fishing a swim feeder with hempen casters in the feeder and just casting and casting and casting. And I've just hooked into something, and yeah, it's a chub. That's a great start. It just proves that sometimes a change of tactics can pay dividends. And in actual fact, because I've been so pestered by small fish, the hook bait I've got is not real casters at all, they're rubber ones. Because the small fish have been annihilating the real bait. So I'm fishing proper bait, obviously, in the feeder, but I'm actually using plastic baits on the hook. And it's paid off already. That's a nice chub. Probably about 3.25 pounds, I'd say. Really chunky, thick set fish. There's my rubber caster there, can you see that? A good reward for getting up early, getting on the case. And I've got the rest of the day in front of me. I'm going to keep feeding this swim, and who knows, I might catch another fish or two. But it's a completely different approach. Small baits rather than big ones. Maybe I'm onto something. Well, this is a lovely spot to return a chub. And there she goes. Fabulous.
I baited another swim with some chopped herrings, but I am rather concerned this plan isn't really coming together. I think these fish are probably preoccupied with pellets. That's my biggest worry. So many pellets go into this river nowadays, they're probably just turning the noses up at a bit of herring. I mean, a lot of people, they actually say, why don't you lads ever show the bad sessions? Well, here it is, here's a bad session for me. I'm not doing particularly well. And this is why we don't show the bad sessions, because quite frankly, they can be a little bit boring. Matt's not doing too bad on the conventional tactics. I'm going to persevere with the herrings though. How can they resist that?
This is the swim that I caught the barbel in the other night, and I've been trickling pellets in here perhaps every half an hour, and it is now absolutely black with fish out there on the plateau. Most of them actually are bream. There are a few chub, and I think I've seen another barbel. It's quite amazing actually how many fish there are out there. It's certainly looking good for a bite, but of course the problem in a situation like this is I've got no control over what I hook. It could be a bream, it might be a chub, it might be a barbel. Well, I'm into a fish here almost straight away. Look at this thing. It's a right old slab. It's the first time I've caught a bream on the Dorset Stour. There you go. Warty old thing, a bit like Mick Brown, so I'm going to put this one straight back. Well, I've got another fish on now. Unfortunately, it's another bream. Absolutely black with them out there. It's a nice looking pale fish. Typical bronze bream. The bream out there heavily outnumber the chub, and yet in among them I know there's some good chub, and I just get a feeling that maybe I should persevere for a while. And I've seen a couple of fish out there that really look worth catching, to be honest. So I'll give it a bit more time here, I think. Or if that's a chub that's just come wandering in there, that's a big one. Well, I can't seem to stop catching these bream. This is quite a big one. It's a big dark old thing anyway. Yeah, it's become a war of attrition now. I figure if I empty the swim of bream, I might finally get through to the chub. Well, I've got a better fish on now, but it's got badly weeded in the middle of the river. It's just shot upstream. I'm gonna have to go in and try and free it. Well, the water's very deep here, and this is really awkward. I don't even know whether the fish is still there. It's gone right into this bed of weed. I'll have to try and gently free it. It looks like a big chub, but it's deep in the weed. Trying to get it out. It's out. It's a big fish. Yes, I've got it. Well, well, well. Fish just ploughed into the weed and buried itself. But it's a nice chub. We've got about an hour to go, and me and Mick always do things at the last minute.
I knew you'd need the scales.
Did you hear the disturbance?
I did actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's over fine.
Oh, it's a lovely fish.
Look at that.
Talk about last gasp again.
Now, what do you want it to weigh?
I'd like it to weigh £5 plus, because
it's miles above that. 5:13.
That ain't bad, is it?
That's not well done, lad.
Cheers, mate, thanks.
We've done it. We got what we came for.
We have, yeah. Let's have a look at it.
It's a lovely fish, isn't it?
Yeah. I think that's a fitting payoff to what has been an epic struggle, but we said these chub wouldn't be easy to catch. They weren't, but that's the sort of fish that people come to the Stour for. Big barbel, some bream, and then the payoff.
Well, in some of the programmes in this series, I've been very lucky to catch some really nice fish, but this isn't one of them. Matt, with the experience he's got on this river, has obviously caught some very good fish, and I'm very pleased for him. I had some idea of how I was going to fish the river, and it just hasn't worked for me. It's all part of the big learning curve. I've learnt a little bit more, and I'm not going to get too despondent about it. I'm just going to go off now and slit my wrists and hang myself. Well, would you believe it? Old Brownie wouldn't give up. One more cast led to another cast and then another cast, and just as the light's finally gone, I've actually got one. Well, I've nearly got one. It's not quite in the net yet. I'm glad I put my chest waders on. Oh dear, I'm in a terrible mess. Oh yes, I've got it. Whew. Well, all's well that ends well, and I must say it's not a bad chub either. It was well worth waiting for. And I caught it on one of my fish baits as well. I might just have beaten my personal best, and as we've said before, when we talk about record breakers, it's not just national records, but it's river records and personal records. And if I've broken my personal best, I'll be more than pleased. Tell you what,
That's a beauty.
I'll pull one out of the bag again,
That's
mate.
a beautiful fish.
I think it might be a personal best.
Oh, without a doubt.
I always seem to get one in the end, don't I?
You do, mate, you do. Well done. Well, Mick, I can tell you, it is a personal best.
Yeah.
It's 6 pounds, 8 ounces.
Wow.
Fabulous fish.
I tell you what, I'm buying the beer, the curry, I'm buying the lot tonight.
Well, that is a proper Dorset Stour fish, mate.
I am. Well, what an end to the show. I've really tried hard with my fish baits, and it just shows that it's all about perseverance and never giving up, and this is certainly one I'm going to...
Did you catch it on me?
On a piece of prawn in the end.
Fantastic.
It's one I'll remember for a long time to come. You can't knock that a personal best, can you?